Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy Judgmental Podcast. I'm Leroy, no Philip today. So we have someone filling in the spot. Here's Jay. What's going on, Jay?
Nothing much. Same old same.
It's been a while since we last heard from you. Oh yeah, that's right. You on our musical stuff.
Music, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a. Your brother said we was a bunch of music nerds, by the way. And my
Hey,
sister and my sister said, "Why was it so long?"
which one? The Biz Marquee joint?
Yes,
Nobody
but
likes Biz Marquee, huh? Nobody.
well,
After
sh-
his first album, that's it.
right. Other than Just a Friend, the
Yeah.
only thing I know from him is Just a Friend. But see, she fella realized that if she had the full premium Spotify, those episodes we do are longer the same way too. Because
Oh,
we're talking. If you had the full song and us talking, it'll
yeah.
be around 2 hours.
Yeah. She's not used to that. That's what it is. Because I
Yeah.
got the full thing, so I'm used.
So we gonna get to it. We gonna go down your part of town, Wilmington, North Carolina. The New Hanover County Sheriff. Do you know what New Hanover County is?
That's where Wilmington is.
Okay.
That's-
The New Hanover County Sheriff Office is investigating a double homicide at the home of George Taylor III, Chief Operations Officer of TRU Colors Brewing. TRU is TRU, like the No Limit Days. A company in which Molson Coors has a minority share. Coors Light and
Mhm.
Coors, that place. Well, here's the report.
On a double homicide in our community. A newly released 911 call sheds some light on the aftermath of a shooting that took place early Saturday morning. Tyson and Brianna Williams were shot and killed inside a home on Providence Road. That's off of Middle Sound Loop Road. Another woman was also shot. She was taken to the hospital. That injured woman was able to call 911. She tells the dispatcher she was shot in the arm and shoulder. The dispatcher helps the victim treat her injuries until paramedics can get there. The caller says everyone was asleep when the shooting took place. A dispatch record shows a door near the garage and the back gate were both open. The sheriff's office has not released information on a possible suspect or motive just yet. Now, property records indicate the home is owned by George Taylor III, the chief operating officer at TRU Colors Brewing Company that you see here. The brewery says it employs active gang members in an effort to reduce gun violence. Deputies say Tyson was a validated gang member. In a 2018 interview with WECT, Tyson, on the left, admitted he was a member of the gangster disciples. Now, we will continue to follow any.
Oh,
Y'all got
it-
gangster
that's
disciples
why I'm
and
like, yo, we got GDs. When did this happen?
yes, gangster disciples of North Carolina. Who would
Yeah.
have authority? Well, that's the first video. The second video is with the family of both of the victims, talking about more getting them more into the case because you'll hear from the next report.
Belonging to an executive of TRU Colors Brewing Company. Founders formed that company as a way to bring gang members together and reduce gun violence.
But some say it is doing just the opposite. Tonight we have team coverage as we are hearing from family members of both victims for the first time.
Because you're doing nothing but harming my community, somewhere that you don't live.
That's the family of Brianna Williams, one of two people killed in a home connected to TRU Colors Brewery. Tonight, they blame the company's owner for her death.
Now, while TRU Colors CEO George Taylor may not have pulled the trigger, the family says he helped set the stage for a situation that claimed Brianna's life. WECT's Ann McAdams sat down with the family today. So, Ann, why do they feel that way?
John, they think the entire concept for the brewery is a bad idea. They believe bringing in active gang members from rival gangs to run the brewery is increasing gang violence, not helping put an end to it as intended.
It's just a pain that in your gut that I think, will never, I know I will never get over.
Adrian Dixon and Elton Williams are still making arrangements to bury their child. The youngest of 3 children in their tight-knit family, they say Brianna Williams was a beautiful, happy person who was quick to help others. At the time of her death, she was visiting a friend who was dating an employee of TRU Colors Brewery. But Brianna's family was very clear she had nothing to do with TRU Colors. In fact, they blame the brewery owner, George Taylor, for her death.
I feel that he's just not responsible for pulling the trigger or killing her and him. But I feel that his program, what he say was supposed to help.
No, he is responsible, ma'am, because something ain't right. But we'll get more into that after this.
Hurt.
From the time TRU Colors came to be, the Dixon Williams family has questioned the concept and the wisdom of a brewery staffed by active gang members in rival gangs.
You take a lot of young kids from different areas of town, different gangs, different sets, knowing they don't like each other, and put them in one building, and you paying them, and you want them to stay in the game while working. That you can't live 2 lives like that. One has to go.
The family believes that despite all the fanfare,
so you can be an active gang member and still have a job. So if you have a full-time job, do you still got time to gang bang?
Ask me, I ain't no gangbanger.
They're surrounding TRU Colors Brewery and their mission to decrease gang violence. The opposite has happened since the brewery launched.
You're doing nothing but harming my community, somewhere that you don't live.
Taylor has so far declined WECT's interview requests about the latest violent incident connected to his brewery, but he did write an open letter to the community, which also rubbed Brianna's family the wrong way.
Not to say anything about my daughter, or I didn't know her, but you're going to continue to say something else about this young man. It wasn't a good look to me.
And then you would think he would get in touch with us, and I'm very sorry for your loss, but we haven't heard nothing.
They were upset that George Taylor did not reach out to them before writing that open letter to the community. They say he did send them an email last night apologizing, but at this point they are no longer sure that they want to talk to him. John, the family is planning a balloon release for Brianna Saturday at 7. They also expressed...
Okay, well, like I said, the story gets more interesting. This is the second shooting at a property owned by George Taylor III. Both involved Cordice Robert Tyson, the young man that was killed in the house. In November 2019, a shooting on Red Cross Street injured a 19-year-old. A home at 617 Red Cross Street also struck by gunfire. At the time, the home was owned by George Taylor, the founder of TRU Color. Tyson was arrested on the scene and charged with possession of a firearm by a felon, a local ordinance violation, and going armed to the terror of the people. Now, this guy, he already got in trouble with a shooting in one of your houses. He has a gun. He's a felon. Why is he still working there? I think it's more to the story because it gets worse. It gets worse, Jay. Here you go. George Taylor was a successful entrepreneur before starting TRU Colors Brewery in 2017. They have yet to start selling beer, but they have received extensive national publicity and continue to take on investors, including Molson Coors, what I just mentioned. So this company ain't sold a beer, ain't generated a damn dollar since 2017. What type of business is that? And he's a successful entrepreneur. Them dudes was up to something with him. And why he got these gang members in his house like that is more to the story. He's the drug runner or something.
It don't make a drop of sense. And it's like, the dude ain't even from there. Like the woman said, he's not from there. Well, I already told you how divided Wilmington is.
Right.
I mean, not to put color out there, but he's a white dude. And he's hanging around all these gangbangers and stuff like that. White folk don't go to that part of the neighborhood anyway. At least when I was there. Like you said a long time ago, them train tracks, they divide everything up.
Yeah.
So he ain't doing nothing but making money off people.
Yep. Any type of neighborhood, there's either a train track or a hill that you don't cross.
Exactly.
Don't cross that hill, don't cross that train tracks, one or the other.
Exactly. I mean, you can't trust somebody to even make this sort of program if they're not even from your neighborhood.
True.
So I don't get it.
Me neither.
And where did the GDs come? I'm still stuck on the GD thing, man.
I don't know. What do you just wake up one day and say, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a GD? Because you ain't grow up. I mean, they kind of young, so maybe they did grow up as GDs. But no, because if it was GDs back then, you would know something about it or heard about it.
Yeah, you know how it is though. You know, people move around in jails and stuff. You know, gangs form. So, but yeah,
Right.
the whole traditional concept of being in a gang, just like it's just like it's Crips and Bloods everywhere. It don't make sense because somebody got killed over in California and like they got their beef over there, but yet it's spread all the way over here.
Right.
You know, the whole thing don't make sense.
Just how like the Bloods talk about Pyru.
Yeah, you're from Georgia and you're talking about on Pyru.
Exactly. Ain't never stepped foot out your neighborhood, much less Pyru in LA.
It's confusing to me, but back to this story. It's like you said, it don't make any sense. The dude is running a front for something.
Right.
He's making money off of it.
Right. The business ain't made a dollar off of beer.
It's not a business. It ain't a business.
Opened in 2017. That's 3-4 years ago in terms of, the months or whatever. 3-4 years ago, they still haven't generated a profit, but yet he's quote unquote employing these gangbangers.
I want to know how, like, if he is employing them, how much money do they make? How much money is he paying them?
Exactly.
Like, everything is there's nothing right about that at all.
No. And anyway, if he was doing like a service and helping a young man out and stuff, there's type of organizations that do stuff like this, but those guys aren't current gang members.
Mm-hmm.
They're like past gang members, went to jail trying to change their life around, exactly. Stuff like that. So I don't understand how you have these current gang members in your business like this. I don't get it. And then
active enemies and stuff.
Exactly. So these are rival gangs. And isn't it a liability if that guy come in and want to shoot the other guy because he mad at something that happened after work or something like that? And
exactly.
what about if they in lunch or something and they get to talking and they want to start arguing and they're going to do stuff on GD and all that type of stuff? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it's definitely a front. So we stand down in the South, Kendall Lakes, Florida, a suburb outside of Miami.
Hold up, you got to go from North Carolina to Florida because you always got Florida in the news.
Yeah, it's always a Florida story, right? Here's a man who foiled the attempted robbery, but he ends up being arrested. And boy, you got to look at this one. Here's the report.
A video just released of an ATM ambush that started as a case of self-defense, but then took an unexpected turn. That ambush led to a deadly shooting. The robbery victim ended up behind bars. Local
you were saying something?
I said he got him. He pulled the gun out and got the dude.
All right, but here it gets worse than this. Hold on.
Savella is live to show us why. Hatzel.
So Nicole, the video you're about
and my
to
man
see...
name is Hatzel too. Is that a Spanish name or Hatzel?
Yeah, I never heard that name. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the Spanish community, so I don't want to say nothing.
He shows a 25-year-old man who was the victim of a crime, but somewhere along the line, something changes and he becomes the one arrested. It's Saturday, February 13th, 8:22 p.m. The pickup truck pulls up at the BB&T bank ATM on Southwest 88th Street and 137th Avenue. The man inside the car we now know is Christopher Luis, initially a victim of a crime. The video is hard to watch. Three armed men approach 25-year-old Luis. So Luis defends himself, starts shooting at one approaching the driver's side. Documents show the other two kept shooting at Luis. Seconds later, he gets out of the truck, takes the gun from the man he shot, who's on the ground, then takes off.
So he was within to stand his ground and use deadly force against the people who were trying to rob him.
But what happens next is what changes things. 4 minutes later, investigators say Luis comes back to the drive-thru and fires the gun he had taken from the robbery suspect.
Damn.
Him more than 10 times. The arrest warrant says while Luis is shooting, he's on the phone reporting he's being shot at.
People have to realize that, understand your
I guess he didn't realize that it was cameras there.
That's what I'm saying. You're at a bank.
Right.
ground. You have to be under a threat of force to use that same amount of force.
My name is Mikey Clark.
Mikey Clark, only 16 years old, was the one killed. Police say 18-year-old D'Angelo Davis and 19-year-old Stanley Al Clark were the other two men involved in the robbery. So Luis is being charged with aggravated battery with a firearm. His next court date is August 12th. Reporting live from Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Hatsavella, Local 10.
All right, now the second report is he wants to talk about this staying your ground because he was standing his ground. He was standing while he was shooting at the guy that was already dead laying in the street. 4 minutes later, by the way.
4 minutes later.
You caught on camera turning the tables, the victim of an attempted robbery now facing charges of his own. That incident ended with the death of a teen who was among the group of suspected robbers.
And Local 10's Annalise Garcia is live. She's in Southwest Miami-Dade with more details on why the situation is presenting really just a gray area when it comes to that stand your ground law.
Gray my ass.
Well, Christy, Janice, the surveillance videos you're about to see show this man defending himself from 3 armed robbers in February. And now a few months later, he's finding himself facing charges. We spoke to an attorney who clarifies the moment in this incident that changed everything. February 13th, 8 p.m. It was all caught on camera. You see the white truck pulling up to the ATM at BB&T Bank in Kendall Lakes. The camera on the ATM captures the face of the man behind the wheel, Christopher Luis. Initially the victim in this case. He was wearing a black and white shirt that said Gun Club. 3 armed men approached 25-year-old Luis from behind his truck. He saw the robber's reflection on his rearview mirrors, and his gun was within reach. He quickly defends himself and opens fire, hitting one of the suspects approaching the driver's side door. The other 2 gunmen keep shooting at Luis. That's when he steps out of the vehicle and takes the gun from the man shot on the ground and then took off.
He was within his right to stand his ground and use deadly force against the people who were trying to rob him.
About 4 minutes later, Luis then returned to the ATM and he fired the gun that he took from the robbery suspect. State prosecutors say this moment changes things.
Understand your ground. You have to be under a threat of force to use that same amount of force back at the people who are threatening you.
Luis shot the suspect more than 10 times.
My name is Mikey Clark.
16-year-old Nimike Clark, detectives said, was the suspect shot and killed by Luis. Officers found the teen dead and released a flyer for help on the fatal shooting. Clark had just been reunited with his mother after spending 2 years in a juvenile corrections facility. Months later, police released these surveillance videos. 18-year-old D'Angelo Davis and 19-year-old Stanley Al Clark, the other 2 suspects involved in the armed robbery. Now, all suspects who came at Clark during that armed robbery, are at Luis, are facing multiple charges, including second-degree murder. As for Luis, he is actually only facing an aggravated battery charge with a firearm, and that's because the medical examiner found that those initial bullets, those initial shots are what killed Clark.
Bullshit.
No.
Exactly.
Bro, he lit dude up. He lit dude the hell up when he came back.
He drove away. Now, did he leave the bank facility or was he in the parking lot?
What are you talking about? Did he leave the pool?
4 minutes later, when the guy came back 4 minutes later, did he leave the bank facility?
My guess is I thought he left the facility, then came back.
Drove around and shot the kid 10 times with the gun that the kid had. And they're gonna talk about the bullets that he initially what the hell? What kind of logic is that?
There ain't no logic at all. He lit dude up, man.
Exactly. What in the hell was going on in his mind? That guy should be locked up just like the other guys that tried to rob him.
That's what I'm saying. That's all right, look, if I got robbed and I stood my ground and I shot, I'd be kind of freaked out. And then I go somewhere far from there, then call and be like, yo, this happened to me. That's something. Wow. The dude, 4 minutes?
Exactly. 4
minutes.
Like you
said, what was he thinking?
And then he's on the phone with the cops telling that they got the kid is shooting at him. No, he one of them gun nuts. Well, it is the South. He's one of them gun nuts, and he was just so ready to shoot somebody. That's why, like how we always say, you got to really be careful what you do and say around people, because there's people like that. They're all in the guns.
Shoot people up.
Right. They all in the guns. They all in the weapons, and they just can't wait to get in some shit to where they can shoot somebody and get away with it. That guy is actually going to get away with doing something like that.
And by the way, this is all on camera.
Right.
All of it is on camera. They even do a close-up of when he has the gun, when he's shooting back at everyone. You can see it when he first shoots the kid, and then when he comes back, that's why I said he lit him up. You can see the gun jump as he's shooting the kid on the ground. So,
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that guy should a battery charge. Then he's probably even going to get away with that or probation, because they're going to say, well, the kid was already dead anyway. Mm-hmm. So now can he get charged with abusing a corpse?
He should. That's abuse.
Now, can you go to jail for abusing a corpse or probation? Or
I know nothing about law, but it should be. I mean, I would think so.
All right.
God. Like, yeah, what are you thinking? 4 minutes in that time. As soon as he let it off, he's like, nah, I gotta go back. I ain't done yet.
Exactly. Wait a minute. Let me go and see if he dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he dead now. Well, all right, now we done with the South now. Now we coming back up here. We going to the shore, Avalon, New Jersey, where police captain says his quote unquote hands are tied when dealing with teens. Have fun with this one.
Walk to the beaches. There is growing frustration over rowdy teenagers behaving badly at the Jersey Shore. Well, now homeowners and visitors are calling on police and local leaders to take action. Action News reporter Jacqueline Lee live in Avalon tonight with reaction. Jacqueline.
Rick, it was so bad that the Avalon mayor actually passed an executive order shutting down the boardwalk and the beaches at night to prevent all of those juveniles from gathering. And officials say it helped a little bit, but they still have some issues. Officials and residents are sounding the alarm, stating the Jersey Shore is now suffering the consequences of 2 state directives aimed at reforming the juvenile criminal justice system.
It's annoying in that the teenagers litter, they leave beer cans.
We've had private property damaged. We've had things stolen from people's garages.
Since Memorial Day, Avalon police have issued about 1,300 curbside warnings to juveniles breaking the rules. Avalon Police Captain John Roscoe explained this comes after the state attorney general issued a directive to keep juveniles out of the system. Officers can't detain them. In fact, there's very little they can do to discipline anyone under 21.
If we see them doing something wrong, we say, hey, get out of here. And then we
so the cop, if he sees some juveniles drinking or doing something illegal, the only thing he can say is stop and get out of here. if only we could be so lucky.
Don't take names. Parents aren't notified. It's been a little.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. They can't write them up or anything. So he just gotta let them go, because you can't tell their parents you can't do anything.
Trying for us to be able to handle juveniles. Our hands are tied.
Officers also can't question or detain people under 21 who are suspected of drinking or under the influence of marijuana. This is a result of voters choosing to decriminalize both back in November 2020.
It's hard enough for the police to do their job. I mean, you got to stand behind them.
North Wildwood
decriminalize underage drinking.
See, I don't know what that's about. The only thing I know is them decriminalizing marijuana. I don't know nothing about like all this other stuff they're talking.
Yeah, but that's for adults.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what all this other stuff is about. This is confusing me.
Its mayor took to social media last week, writing a lengthy post explaining the repercussions of the state's new law. North Wildwood had a total of 8 assaults involving juveniles since Memorial Day weekend. And he said, quote, the state has basically created a new category of super citizen in New Jersey who are basically immune from efforts by the police to enforce certain
Hardy har. Very funny.
laws in New Jersey.
That's all we can do is warn them. It also limited our ability to investigate these crimes.
And I
Damn,
just
so they could do what they want, huh? That must be nice.
Yep.
Issued more than 10,000 of these warnings since the beginning of the summer. Now, we reached out to the Attorney General's office. They say that their directive prevents the unnecessary prosecution of juveniles, and they say nothing in that directive prevents law enforcement from taking appropriate action when necessary. We are live in Avalon. Jacqueline Lee, Channel 6.
All right, now, North Wildwood had a total of 8 assaults involving juveniles since Memorial Day weekend. The state basically created a new category of super citizens in New Jersey who are basically immune from efforts by the police to enforce certain laws in New Jersey. I've never heard no type of shit like that before. I've never.
That's what I'm saying. Teenagers can do whatever they want, huh?
Right. And okay, like we talked about. Okay, I understand the decriminalization of marijuana. That's adults. So a little 16-year-old can be outside smoking weed and the cops see him and can't do nothing. You can't even like write your name down or call your parents and none of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like the least you would do is get their information and call the parents.
Right.
That's the least you would do. But I mean,
so it's so bad with these drunken, high up juveniles that they shut down the boardwalk at nighttime. And like I said, if only we could all be so lucky.
I know. I never heard anything like this before.
Right.
This is the best summer they probably ever had.
Exactly.
Kids had.
Exactly. I still want to know, where's this law where you decriminalize alcohol, underage drinking, and underage drug usage? Where's this law at written down? So they could just walk down, they could walk on a boardwalk, smoke weed, and got a beer in the other hand.
They don't even need the club.
Nope. Exactly. The boardwalk was the club. That's why they shut it down at nighttime. So we talked about on episode 64 about women with the NFL players, Dwayne Haskins and Richard Sherman, how they fuck up the bag. So now we got the wife of NHL left wing for the San Jose Sharks, Evander Kane, doing the same damn thing. Here's the report.
NHL star Evander Kane, the San Jose Sharks forward, is speaking out after his estranged wife accused him of tanking games to pay off gambling debts. Eva Pilgrim has the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. These are some serious allegations with possible serious consequences for Kane. He has come out adamantly denying them, but this morning the NHL is starting its process to investigate the claims.
This morning, the National Hockey League investigating claims from San Jose Sharks forward Evander Kane's wife that he was betting and throwing his own games to pay off gambling debts. Anna Kane making the allegations on her Instagram stories. How does the NHL let a compulsive gambling addict still play when he's obviously throwing games to win money? Adding, can someone ask Commissioner Gary Bettman how they let a player bet and win with bookies on his own?
Oh, I'd be so heated if my wife did something like this. Well, they're supposed to be getting a divorce, but that ain't the point.
Games.
These are very serious allegations. The NHL is extremely clear in its
Exactly. You don't throw no shit out there like that just because you mad.
collective bargaining agreement. Players are not allowed to make any bets on NHL games. And again, betting and influencing the own game, throwing the own game is something that the NHL absolutely doesn't want.
The hockey star firing back, saying the two are in the midst of getting a divorce. Responding to the allegations, tweeting, I have never gambled bet on hockey, never gambled bet on a Sharks game, never gambled bet on any of my games. And
No, because it's already out there. Well, it's more to the story too. We'll get into that.
never thrown a hockey game. I look forward to cooperating fully with the league's investigation, having my name cleared, and looking forward to this upcoming season. The NHL saying the integrity of our game is paramount, and the league takes these allegations very seriously. The Sharks releasing a statement supporting a full and transparent investigation.
The punishments are very severe. They can range from the cancellation of a player's contract to indefinite suspension.
One of the league's top scorers, the hockey star, is 3 seasons into a $49 million 7-year contract, but still has a history of money troubles. In January, he filed for bankruptcy, claiming to be $26 million in debt. In 2019, a Las Vegas casino sued Kane, alleging he failed to repay a $500,000 gambling bet. The casino reportedly later dropping the lawsuit.
And we have been told that the NHL hopes to have this investigation completed before the start of training camp, which is in September.
So yes, he's having money troubles and he's a compulsive gambler. So like, look, how can I trust you? Well, here's another report where he's denying the charges. Again, it's the same.
An NHL player is denying accusations that he has gambled on his own games. The wife of San Jose Sharks, Evander Kane, made the accusations against him on Instagram yesterday. And Arthi Pohl is tracking all of this story for us. There are a lot of aspects to understand in this story. Arthi, what are you hearing?
Well, John, hasn't this story spiraled really quickly? And we do have now a response from Evander Kane himself after those allegations came out from his wife. Essentially, the accusation, as you mentioned here, is that he was betting on the San Jose Sharks themselves, and he was betting against them. And then he was efforting to try to lose those games in order to profit on those bets. So that's the allegation. Part of the allegation also suggested that he was spending lavishly outside from his family, and that it forced his family into a situation where his wife said she couldn't even afford formula for his child. So here is the statement.
Oh, here we go with that shit. So he gambles so much that he can't afford his his children food, and he's an NHL hockey player.
I was gonna say, what does she do?
Nothing.
Evander Kane.
Homemaker. I'm sorry. She's a homemaker.
Oh.
Really addressing those allegations that were made. He said that even against the advice of his legal team, he felt strongly to come forward and to address the allegations that were put forward by his wife. He said that he has never gambled or bet on hockey, never gambled or bet on a Sharks game, never gambled or bet on any of my games, and never thrown a hockey game. So that's what we heard from Evander Kane. In addition to that, he talked about the family situation, saying that he loves his daughter and I'll always take care of my daughter, saying that he's been trying to de-escalate a divorce situation, and that he hopes this is the last time I will be publicly addressing any further misrepresentations of me as a father. Now let's quickly bring up those allegations that we saw surface yesterday from Evander Kane's wife. Her essentially saying there that how does the NHL let a compulsive gambling addict still play when he's obviously throwing games to win money? Maybe someone needs to address this. And then
go ahead.
How are you going to be married to a compulsive gambler and then have kids by him?
Exactly. That's true. Because it ain't like he decided in February. Let's just say they've been married for 3 years. So in February 2019, he said, hey, look, I want to start becoming a compulsive gambler and throwing his buddy away. That's true.
She knew. I mean, maybe she didn't know how bad it was, but she knew, bro. Like, come on, man. And then going to see, I hate this, man. Don't get divorced and then start talking trash about who you're with.
Right.
That's corny. And that's real corny.
Especially when it's children involved. Well, a child involved.
Yeah.
Really calling on the NHL commissioner to investigate. So that is what we're seeing right now. We know with Evander Kane that he had filed for bankruptcy. There is public knowledge about a financial issue and a gambling issue there as well. But all of these details are quite new, John.
Yeah, you can be willing to bet there's people looking at every game that he's ever played to see if there's any indication he might have thrown the game.
Oh, shit. So anything he do wrong or cause a penalty or something, they're going to say, hey, maybe he did that on purpose.
Yep.
Certainly a real concern for the NHL. What are they saying about all of this?
Yeah, and we know the team too was saying that they're going to leave this with the NHL, and the NHL has said that they will be launching an investigation, and they do want to take a look at these allegations that were made by his wife. Let's quickly pull up what it is that the NHL said here. We know that they went on to say that the integrity of our game is paramount, and the league takes these allegations very seriously. We know that there will be an investigation into this, and just a little bit more about Evander Kane and where he's at right now. We know he plays for the San Jose Sharks. We know that he's in the middle of a 7-year contract worth $49 million. He's 3 seasons into that, and it's estimated that he's made about $56 million during his NHL career so far. A lot to look at, and we should note that in Evander Kane's statement addressing all of these allegations, he did say that he would cooperate with an investigation too, John.
Okay, like the article said that Kane filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. As part of his legal filings, he claimed to have lost $1.5 million on gambling at casino via bookie over a 12-month span leading up to his bankruptcy petition. According to Cap Friendly, Kane has lifetime earnings in the NHL of just under $56 million, as the lady just said. He's 3 years into a $49 million contract with the San Jose Sharks that has a $26 million remaining on it. A one-time teammate of Kane was surprised to read of the accusations, telling ESPN that while Kane's wagering on football and basketball were well known, I've never heard him say he bet on hockey. Damn. Several of Evander Kane's teammates don't want the Sharks ringer to return to the team next season. Sources tell the Atlantic. Oh boy, I'm so shocked. The team was trying to trade Kane earlier this summer, a source said, because the team already knew this shit was coming, probably. A source said, confirming a report from the Daily Face-Off, a big part of the reason for the team to pursue a deal was Kane's strained relationship with many of his teammates, according to several sources. Oh, shit. According to one source, the frustration with Kane stems from a general disrespect of team rules, such as being late for practices and games. And zero consequence came, which caused a ripple effect with the other younger guys, added the source. According to another source, it wasn't easy dealing with him this season. Damn. So the teammates hate him. It's this, you got this gambling thing where you betting on games. San Jose Sharks is going to buy him out.
Yep.
And he'll never be probably play in the NHL again.
That's what I was going to say.
How can I trust you? If you on my team, how can I trust you? If this is in the atmosphere. And number one, ladies, never fuck up the bag like this. Now the guy got $26 million left on the table, and you just fucked up the bag, and you have a kid together. So do you actually think he's going to get a job where he's going to make what, $6 or $7 million a year like this? What kind of job is that?
He was too emotional, man.
Exactly.
He was way too emotional.
You got to put your emotions aside and think about the big picture. Okay, yeah, he probably cheated on all that stuff, but we got this kid, and this kid has a chance of going to get the best education, get the best nannies or housekeepers or whatever. We can be in the best homes, and you want to fuck it up just because you mad. You never throw anything. First of all, number one is it's also his fault too, because why does she know anything about him betting like this? Why
had nothing else to do?
Why are you telling your wife that you bet on games and all that stuff? No, you don't tell her anything like that. Like, keep that to yourself.
I don't know. Maybe he had it to where, like, because I mean, he was probably sloppy with his money though. Like, she probably noticed that this money was disappearing, and she confronted him, about it.
And he said, like, oh yeah, because I betted on games.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he didn't say it like that. she got wind of him because she ain't got nothing else better to do. She ain't got no job. And that's another thing too, bro. Look, man, I know what the popular opinion is that if you're a breadwinner, your wife doesn't have to do anything. But I mean, at the same time, man, she's got to have skills at something. She got to be smart. She got to do something,
man. Yeah. Well, she gonna have to put them skills now because she gonna need a damn job because he ain't gonna have one.
Exactly. She messed everything up.
Right, and he already told me, and she's so dumb. he already is money problems has already been in the air. He filed for bankruptcy. So now now he's going to be out of a job. So where's the money going to come from? I
don't
mean,
know.
can he coach kids? Maybe, but if he's coaching kids, how can I even trust him doing that?
He's done with sports.
Exactly.
He's done. Like, I don't know. Maybe she comes from a rich family or something. For you, I mean, like, for you to not care and then put everything on the line like that, like that's your main source of income, and you're gonna cut everything off. Maybe she just comes from a rich family or something. That's my only explanation for that. Because how could you be so stupid?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Never fuck up the bag. Never. Let him do him. Let him. Y'all get divorced. That's fine. But you have to think about. Okay, I know you upset and he's probably cheating on her and she's mad and all that shit. But you have to think about. I got this kid and this kid need to be taken care of. And how can he take care of the kid if number one he already got money problems and number two he's not going to have a job. Because I can't see him being he's definitely not going to be on the San Jose Sharks because the teammates can't trust him. He already messing up in the locker room and everything.
My thing is the whole means of. I mean, I'm not putting women down or nothing like that, but a lot of times, women will get with a pro player for money. Straight up,
Right.
money is the main goal. That's the main thing that they see. That's what their tunnel vision is set on most of the time.
Right.
So where was her mind at?
Exactly. So while we talking about sports, let's give a shout out to Simone Biles for opening up about her mental health problems. Here she took damn near all Olympics off and still got the bronze medal in the balance beam, right? Yeah, the balance beam. So shout out to her. Health is wealth. And I one thing I can say about these young people, I like how they talk about, their mental health problems and all that shit. Because we suppose, especially when it comes to black people, we supposed to be strong and you can't cry and you can't feel down and all that stuff. But they saying like, hey, look, I got a problem. And supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly she has attention deficit disorder and she was taking Adderall. They wouldn't allow her to take, and I guess it's a Japanese thing. They don't use Adderall as medication. So I think that's what all triggered all the stuff that was going on. That's what they said on Joe Rogan, that she was on Adderall. And is it Adderall or Ritalin? It's even one of the two, Adderall or Ritalin.
I guess it's Adderall. Probably that's the more well known.
And they don't allow that to be taken in Japan, so she couldn't take it. So that's why she was having all these problems.
Well, then they said too that like a family member died while she was over there too.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they said I forgot how close the family member was, but while she was at the Olympics, a family member passed away also.
Oh
So,
no, I didn't hear that.
That's a good point though, like the mental health thing, because you get sick of that shit. You got to be so strong all the time. They deal with that, so you got to deal with that. No.
That's a good one. Especially
they always do that. They did that, so you got to do it too. No, I don't.
Especially when it comes from our older people. No, I did it. No, it's all right to do. I did it. No, that was wrong. That doesn't mean just because you did something doesn't make it right.
That's why you're mentally fucked up now.
Exactly.
Right? True. So like, don't mess us up.
Exactly. So shout out to her and F all them people that was coming down on her too. So look, she still took damn near all, like I said, took all Olympics off and still got a damn bronze medal. So shout out to her. Now, I know you're not into sports, so UFC 265 was last night, but I want to talk about Cheyenne Biles. Cheyenne has a 6-2 record, fought on last week's UFC fight night, scored a KO against Gloria DePaula. I know you didn't see it. Well, I'm gonna show you a clip of this knockout here that she got.
That voice you hear is J.P. Bays, the husband of Cheyenne, also in the UFC.
Oh!
Holy heck!
She's good though.
Gloria DePaula is still in this fight, but perhaps not. Wow!
Now that knockout gained her $50,000 performance of the night bonus. Performance of the night bonus is pretty much a knockout bonus, but of course, we can't call it that because knockout bonus seems kind of cruel now. Since we all about concussions and all that stuff, so they just call it performance of the night. In her post-fight news conference, she said her bank account was negative after she and her husband packed up and moved the Dallas to Las Vegas. And she had taken out some big loans to essentially fund her career to stay afloat for the fight. The big bonus check means she can repay the loans with a little less stress financially ahead of whatever she fights next. Now, here's her talking about it in the press conference.
I think sometimes, because we talk to fighters every week, we sometimes forget how much.
Shout out to her because she surely don't even look like she was in the fight.
A difference that 50 grand could make to your life. What impact is that going to have on you?
I am negative in my account right now, so it's going to make a big difference. And my whole paycheck actually is I have to pay back $15,000 for a loan I got from a few people. So, I made 10 and 10 from my win and show. So that 20,000 was just gone. So, and I was okay with it. I was okay if I won and that check was gone because I made the move out here and I knew that this fight was just going to be for the move, but it was the best decision me and my husband made for our careers and just to get that bonus. I've been so broke my whole life because of this.
This is so damn embarrassing. But let me finish. Not for her. I'm talking about for the UFC.
Yeah.
The sport, but it's so worth it to me because I love this sport. But to get a $50,000 paycheck, my husband's gonna tell me to put it away. I'm definitely gonna want to buy some nice stuff, but I like to buy a little bit of things for the house and for my animals. I really like to spoil my family, but this week I'm definitely taking my team to go get a nice dinner. So it's life-changing for sure, but I just, got to put the money away and just go out there and fight again.
Okay, so now she says she got a 10 and 10 contract. 10 and 10 means you get 10 grand to show up and 10 grand to win. Okay, so she got 20 grand because she won the fight. She got the $50,000 bonus, so that makes it 70 grand. So taxes is going to take what? 30 of it maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so that's 40 left. So now you got to pay the gym and the trainers and all that stuff. And I don't know who's their trainers is and all that. So would that maybe 10 to 15 grand she got to give them and everything? So they only leave her with what? Between 30 grand of that money. So she has 30 grand. Now, I don't know. She might not fight for the rest of the year. She didn't fight none this year. So she only got 30 grand for the year. So she's still going to be, because 30 grand ain't really much. When you
boiling stuff on animals and stuff.
Exactly. When you talk about buying animals and buying stuff for the house, you're not going to have anything left. I just thought it was embarrassing. And UFC actually posted on their website like that was like a good thing on a YouTube page. Like that was a good thing or whatever. I think it's embarrassing for a company. In 2020, revenue was $980 million. And the majority of sports, the athletes and the company shares revenue. So it's close to 50-50. Some organization is like 47 and 53. I think the NFL is 50-50 if I'm not mistaken. But UFC just pays between 10 to 15% of their revenue. So they just caking up while this girl and people like her got to be negative. Like there's no way you should be in the UFC and still gotta work a job. First of all, they should automatically give you, if you get signed to a UFC, you should automatically at least get, I say like at least about 30 or 40 grand a year.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No,
that's what I just generally assume.
No, nope. You should get 30 for everybody from the top to the bottom. Should get at least a good 30 or 40 grand a year. That'll be enough for her training. That'll be for her training to take care of stuff, house stuff or whatever. And she don't have to ask anyone for loans. So, and anything else, your win show money, your bonus, if you get that, that's like extra. That's like extra money. You shouldn't be fighting for just 10 and 10 for 20 grand. Now, suppose if she didn't get that fight of the night bonus, 20 grand, she still would have been in debt because she already said she owed money. I just thought that was just ridiculous, and
These
it was something that
companies
needed to
don't.
be said.
These
True,
companies don't.
it's something that needed to be said.
And the thing
Speaking of
is,
that,
too, I was just going to
go
say,
ahead.
just with companies like that, I mean, they're just going to assume that people aren't going to look into that sort of stuff anyway, because they're just so blindsided by the entertainment aspect of it.
Right. Well, James, we got to talk about Dipset versus the Locks versus.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one.
Now, all right. Now, when it was coming on, right, you know how the DJ was playing songs.
Yeah.
And what's the drag on song? Through the north, south, east, west.
World War III, right? Ain't that World War III?
No, see, I thought World War II was like.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. I got them two confused. Yeah, the beat is in my head. I forget the name of it though.
And all right, they was playing that, and I'm seeing all people walking around. I'm like, oh shit, let's get this shit started. I woke up to a black screen. I fell asleep throughout the whole thing. Well, I caught it on YouTube. Thanks to whoever posted on YouTube. That was a fantastic versus, and it's probably one of the best up there. Do you agree with it?
Yeah, the live element was cool.
Right.
Like I wasn't sure about it at first, man, but when they brought out Michael Buffer,
yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, this actually might be, something. But
and he had that look like, damn, I got to get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, he did. He did after like 5 minutes after he was done, man.
Like they blowing weed in my face. Oh, nigga, this and nigga, and then they got on and say like, yeah, nigga, yeah, I know he like, let me get the fuck up out of here. The weed smoke, I can't take it. I bet you he went in the back, and I wonder, did he even take that suit off? He probably just said,
did.
fuck it, let's get in the car and go home. Yeah, that was a fantastic battle. Well, first of all, I want to start off before the battle, and the banner they had. So it was Jim Jones and Style P was going back and forth on would it have been Instagram?
Yeah, it was Instagram.
Yeah, they was going back and forth on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, that started the magic. That's how you start the magic, the banner. Now, think about pro wrestling. Pro wrestling isn't about men in tights, fake fighting. It's the banner they have before they get into the ring.
You gotta sell it.
Right. That's how you sell it, by the bannering. And so they going back and forth. And people actually thought they was gonna get on stage and start fighting and all that stuff. Well, let them think that, because that's what made them watch. That made them watch. And I guess you make money, I don't know, by views. I don't know how that works or whatever, but
well, it helped the Locks' stock go up. So
oh yeah, it did tremendously.
They got a tour afterwards, so all they did is just promote their tour.
Right. Now let's get into this battle. What the fuck was Dipset thinking? Now,
well, you need to start off with the DJ though, because the Locks' DJ was like
on point.
He knew what he was doing.
Right.
Like even when they were at the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the other DJ came on. It was like, what is he playing? What is he doing? You know.
Right, because it's songs that I can just think off the top of my head that they should have played for, especially for Cameron. Going back to the Dipset, I have to think that those guys don't even talk to each other. They probably haven't even spoke to each other in years. They like, well, look, we can make some money doing this. We can just show up at 5 o'clock or whatever the time they had to be there or whatever.
Yeah.
Because those guys don't even talk to each other like that. You can tell. And it's Tariq Nasheed did a I don't know, is it a podcast or whatever he do? I don't know what he calls it. And he talked about the chemistry. They had no chemistry whatsoever. Yep. Them guys. Now look at the difference between Locks chemistry and Dipset. Now you could tell that the Locks roll with each other, but you could just tell. You could just see it amongst themselves that they all hang with each other and all that stuff. They hang with each other and they rehearse. And that's another thing about your young people. When you show up to somewhere, always be prepared. Don't show up and don't rehearse none of that shit, because us consumers, we can automatically tell, or our consumers or fans, I don't know what you want to call us, we can automatically tell. I can automatically tell that those Dipset guys don't even talk to each other, because they barely interact with each other on the stage. And what's up with Cameron? Cameron would disappear and come back, disappear and come back. And see, the Locks, they all was on stage together all throughout the whole show.
You want to be around them dudes. That's what it was.
And the Jim Jones with the chain, all that stuff, that was stupid.
That was corny. And Freaky Zeke was getting on my nerves, man. Like,
Yeah, dancing like a clown.
He's not Spliff Star. He added nothing to that whole. He added nothing. He was just a distraction. Actually, I was distracted by him most of the time.
And Jewel's, the way Jewel's style of dress, was that a little outdated or
a little?
Okay, so it was outdated. I thought it was just me.
A little.
Like, I'm like he dressing like it's like 08 or 07, 08 or something. When was they on top? No, they weren't that 07, 08. It's earlier than that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. he
like,
looked like somebody said he looked like somebody dumped their laundry or something. Like they dumped a mound of laundry on him, and he just like stood up and just went to the show from that.
And they keep saying that he was taking his teeth out. Is that true?
I don't know. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see anything like that. They were saying like something was going on with his teeth.
Well,
I didn't see anything about his teeth.
But you know what? It would kind of make sense. I mean, if that is true, because at the beginning he really didn't do that much until like midway he started waking up and he started talking more.
Yeah, how about when he was I guess he was bored or whatever, and he was acting like he was laying on the ground and all that shit. And he got animated and they'd already lost.
Yeah, it was too late.
Right. And like Jay said about the DJ, what the fuck are you singing? You pretty much just lip singing over your vocals. Come on now.
That's the issue I got with the younger generation. I think I said that in the Biz Marquee joint too. How
Yes. Yeah, you said. But go ahead and say it again.
Like, well, Jadakiss said it.
Exactly. And he said it numerous times. And you would think they would have been like, all right, well, look, let's change this shit. Nope, they just kept going.
Yeah, he was like, yo, I could have just listened to y'all in the car radio.
Exactly.
You know, I could just listen to you at home. Like, that's I don't get why people pay all this money. Like, they just had Lollapalooza, right? Why would you pay all this money to go see somebody go on stage? Yo, was it Milli Vanilli? They came out at the wrong time, man.
Yeah, because if they'd came out now, nobody would have cared.
Nah.
That what they lip syncing, or that's not really them. Nobody really even cared.
They just look good. Yeah, they came out at the wrong time.
But damn, they didn't play Losing Weight. They didn't play Let Me Know.
No. Yeah.
Come Home With Me. And by the way, when people was asking like who would win, I picked Dipset, and everybody was like, "Well, why the hell would you pick Dipset?" Because when I think about Dipset, I'm not thinking about just Cam, Jules, and Jim Jones. And like you said, Jim Jones, he's like you put an asterisk on Jim Jones because he started like rapping late in Dipset's run.
Yeah, he never. And I told this to you, I never like considered him a real rapper type dude.
Right.
It's just like, okay, this dude from the background, let him try it out. Oh, it hit big, so like you just keep doing it.
Right.
I don't know.
Because like during the breakup and all that shit, that's when he really started going hard with the rapping.
Yeah.
So that was like at the end of they run pretty much. See, and when I think about Dipset, I'm thinking about J.R. Ryder. I'm thinking about Hell Rell. I'm thinking about 40 Cal. I'm like, but then again, and then people saying, well, no, they shouldn't have been on stage. But Jim Jones played Purple City Bird Gang. They don't have nothing to do with Dipset.
Exactly. And I mean, it would have made sense. I mean, J Hood, I guess?
J Hood is on D Block.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the locks, though. Like,
right.
I mean, because people, see, that was brought up, and I heard people say, well, that would have been unfair because, you know, they would have had extra. You know, it's 3-on-3. It's already even. So
no, they don't have nothing to do about if it's a 3-on-3. It's about the songs. And why not? Because they said that Hell Rell and J.R. Ryder was there.
Yeah, there's a picture of Hell Rell actually in the audience.
And was French Montana there?
I don't know. Probably. It would have made sense. It would have made sense if he was there.
Man, but, I would have had Hell Rell on stage doing something. What's the song with Young Dro? Goodness, what's the name of that song? I forget the name of the song, but go ahead. What was you about to say?
I was gonna say like was it Sheik? I think Sheik said that they had plans to bring people out too. Like they said something about they was gonna bring out Mace through 24 Hours to Live.
Oh shit, that'd have been awesome. That'd have been
Uh,
awesome if they did that shit. Oh,
yeah, I forgot.
Mace should have did that too.
Yeah, I forgot. They said they was gonna bring a few other people out too, but they was just like they just decided to just keep themselves up there.
They could have brought Little Kim out.
Yeah, yeah, they could have. They
Yep.
did all about the Benjamins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, such a good band. Let Me Know. Did I mention Let Me Know as a song?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what it is, but with Hell Rail, they could have done that. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
J.R. Ryder could have came and did a freestyle because I don't know really any J.R. Ryder songs. The only J.R. Ryder song I know that he was on is the Push It, the Push It where they use the salt and pepper beat. They could have used that. Man, it was a whole bunch of songs. Would you say it again?
I was gonna say they could have used a lot of stuff. They just weren't prepared. And Cool Kim from the UMC said something interesting about Jadakiss. So he was saying how Jadakiss definitely deserves to be recognized as where he is.
Yeah.
But he was like, how are you gonna put him he did what he was supposed to do? If you think about it, if you're really that great or just an MC, whatever, you're supposed to command the audience.
Right.
Because I mean, I'll just summarize what he said, but he's like, you shouldn't get praised for doing your job. I mean, he did a great job, but you don't go to your job and people say, oh my gosh, you dumped the trash out. That's the best dumping I've ever seen.
Well, I see his point, but it's pretty much what you just said when we start talking about this. The bar is way low now.
It was.
The
And
bar is way
Dipset,
low. So when you
Dipset
see
had
somebody,
way more hits too. They had way more hits.
So when you see someone, they could have did that. What's the song? We talked about the song before. The video where they getting off the slave ship, where they jumping off the slave ship. They could have played the Rough Riders where they.
Yeah, okay.
Where they used the EPMD headbanger beat.
The Rough Riders. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They could have used that. They could have played that song. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff they didn't play.
Whatever the case, I was gonna say when Jadakiss did that freestyle, that was already the nail in the coffin.
Oh, the hell, the nail in the coffin when they came on stage and sung "Fuck You." And that was pretty much it right there. They was done. And Dipset ain't had nothing for that.
And then when he took Joel's rag and threw it on the ground off his head, he spiked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was such a good battle. But my thing is, they having this concert, right? The Locks better finish it, because if Dipset going to be the last, people going to leave.
Yeah, they hurt themselves doing that real bad.
Yes, and they better rehearse or some shit, have a kumbaya, talk to each other, because these guys don't even talk to each other anymore. And I'm like, damn, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, damn, maybe one of these offshoots will come up on stage. And when everybody started to come up on stage and everything, I'm thinking like maybe one of them offshoots is behind them. Maybe like Hell Rail or J.R. Ryder was behind them.
I got a question about Dipset, because people are like, they're kind of dumbing down on Dipset a little bit too much. I mean, I know that they didn't do that great, but dude on YouTube with all the opinions.
Your boy, yeah.
You gotta call him my boy. Nah, but he was saying something about how like Dipset were mainly for casuals or something. He calls them casuals. And I was curious about your opinion on that.
No.
Let me be more specific though, because I unless I'm getting it wrong, I don't think he specifically called them casuals, but he said he was saying they were never really that hot. That's what his main thing was. He said they were never really that hot, and that hipsters and stuff jumped on him and took him over when Killer Season came out.
No, that's not true. The Dipset was Cameron. If I say the Dipset, I'm mentioning everyone. Man, I'm pretty much just talking about Cam and Jewels and the offshoots, because like we said, Jim Jones didn't really start rapping until when they run was pretty much over. When they start beefing and he act like he was going to be hang around with 50 Cent and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's really when Jim Jones really started rapping. So he was pretty much done. So in their prime, he wasn't really rapping like that. He might like say a little stuff here and there, but he wasn't really. Well, they mentioned that on the Versus. Jadakiss mentioned it when he did Purple City Bird Gang. He said, "Oh, that's when you started rapping."
Mm-hmm.
And Purple City Bird Gang was like, "Damn, when was that?"
Mm-hmm.
That had to be like what, 04? 04?
4, 05?
Yeah, it had to be.
5-ish. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they started tapering off.
Right.
It's
So
the same thing I said.
no, Cameron. See, the thing about Cameron is a rapidy guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he kind of, because as you can you could tell from his first album to how he rapped now. He rapping totally different because he was trying to do that, trying to how many words I can put in a bar.
Yep.
He was one of those type of rappers. He's a rapidy guy. A guy can rap. And do you know Gully TV?
Yeah,
On
yeah,
YouTube?
yeah.
He was talking about the why did he do the computers putin?
Yeah.
Wow. I like, hey, look, y'all liked it then. And
Exactly.
he's like, man, you know that people was making fun of you. You was doing that computers computing.
He liked it, yeah.
Exactly. So no, Cameron wasn't nothing. Dipset wasn't nothing for casuals. I was a Dipset fan. That Diplomatic Immunity, the first album.
Exactly, that was hot.
And you know what? Since I'm sorry to
go ahead.
You know that Cameron could have played was he's on that One for Petey. Did you hear his verse on that One for Petey Crack?
No, I ain't heard that one.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to be on the record, but he said Jay-Z put a stop to it. But what happened was they did the song right. So Cameron took the CD, like, oh yeah, let me get that. He took the CD and Jay-Z and them showed up. So he played it. So Petey Crack played it for Jay-Z. Jay-Z took the CD and broke it. Yeah. But since Cameron had the CD, I guess he gave it to one of these mixtape guys. And it's out on the mixtape. If you go on YouTube, you'll hear it. But what he could have did, he could have played that beat. Everybody would have been on the beat. Everybody would have been into it because of the beat. And then he could have just rapped his part. Man, there's so much shit that Dipset could have done, man. It's so much shit. And did you hear the Sheik interview on Sway in the Morning?
Yeah, I heard it. But what part are you talking about?
About how Puffy had told him to do the freestyles because your freestyles is just as good as your album.
Yeah, and he was right to do that.
Exactly. And Dipset could have did the same thing, but you could have did it if you were prepared and not just show up.
I think one thing with them is that like they saw it differently. Because when you look at the verses, most of the time it's like, oh, we're celebrating our careers and we're just side by side or whatever like that.
But see, they were cool with the banner. They were cool with the banner going back and forth and shit.
But still, it's still like, I mean, because you've seen some somewhat battles on there though, but they still haven't gone to that extreme like how the Lots did. You know
True. True.
I think with Dipset they were just going for hits. That's it. Oh, we got bigger hits than that didn't work neither. But
no.
I mean, I guess they were like, yo, we're just gonna do our hits, whatever, and we'll just leave it at that since they don't talk to each other much.
Right. So, thank you. Was you about to say something else?
Nah, I was just gonna say, I agree with them not being quote unquote casuals.
Yeah, they don't.
They were huge in the early late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. I don't know what your boy was talking about.
I gotta call him my boy, man.
How old is he anyway?
I don't know.
Because maybe is one of those. Maybe Dipset is one of those. You just had to be there. But then again, he know about the locks, so he was there. But I can't see how because he was saying that Dipset was just for like white people that wanted to be down and all that stuff. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he was saying, like around the time when Jim Jones started getting hot, they latched on to him and like, but this is separate. His opinion was they were never hot. He never really liked them. He thought they were whack.
No.
Like, nah, I wasn't even that huge of a fan. I mean, I had the, I heard the mixtapes and stuff, but I wasn't that huge of a fan, and that ain't true. They were
Right.
big. They were damn near like, it was damn near during that era. It was almost like they were like Wu-Tang or Boot Camp Click.
Yep.
For that era.
Speaking of boot camp, they were doing this on people on Twitter was doing this man, how about a backpack or underground versus, and they mentioning like Def Jukes and all that stuff. I'm like, come on, how are you mentioning backpack and underground versus and not mentioning boot camp? That'd be the first group that would come to mind to me.
Well, they're originally the backpack. Like, they're the ones who had backpacks in the videos before. See, this is what I don't like too, how people put the backpack thing with the nerd category.
Right.
Like, backpack meant that you had guns and weed and crack in it.
Right.
In your backpack, or maybe you had some cans and stuff in there, but nah, man, it wasn't oh yeah, this is just my rhymes in my backbook.
Yeah, this is my notebook of rhymes and my spray cans and magic markers and all that shit.
Yeah, people get the backpack. Well, the whole concept of backpack is messed up anyway. Like, people don't know what they're talking about when they say backpack nowadays anyway. Like, people put Kendrick as backpack now.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
Well, movie review time. So I finally watched all of Summer of Soul, or When a Revolution Won't Be Televised.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, the plot ain't really much of a plot, ladies and gentlemen. It's a documentary. 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival, which was held in Morris Park, right? It was Morris Park in Harlem that lasted for 6 weeks. 40 hours of footage was recorded on videotape that was placed in the basement where it sat for 50 years. Some of the artists performed on there were Stevie Wonder, Mahalia Jackson, Nina Simone, The Fifth Dimension, The Staple Singers, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Sly and the Family Stone. I gave it 10 out of 10. I love that documentary. The only negative I can put on it is it's no soundtrack. That's the only negative I could put. Oh, I loved it. And I loved Sly and the Family Stone. Sly and the Family Stone was my number one. Stevie Wonder was my number two. Now, how'd you like it?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It was one of them films where it was like I didn't want it to end. Like, I was like, oh, who else came? You know what I mean? Like,
right. And of course, my list was more artists that was on there, like the skateboarder's father. I didn't know his father was a musician. The skateboarder was on there too, and I can't remember his name. He has say it again.
Said skateboarder.
Yeah, he's like a skateboarder. His father was the African singer.
Oh,
what is his name? It's like Macaulay. I know his last name starts with an M. Well, that's where I know him from. He does like skateboarding and all that stuff. And the X Games.
Mm-hmm.
He does the hosting for the X Games. I didn't know his father was a musician. Macaulay. His last name is Macaulay. But yeah, it was more people that they show performing on there. Yeah, I just mentioned the ones that Nina Simone was also good too. But everyone did well. But I like the Sly and the Family Stone. I like that better than everyone. And they had some of the people that were still alive on there talking about what happened and what was they thinking and all that stuff.
Like, I like how was that him? He was talking. No, it wasn't. He was talking about how, like, he had a crush on a woman from the Fifth Dimension.
No, that was somebody in the audience that was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he was a little kid. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and they interviewed them, and they were talking about like how they got up there and what it was like performing on stage. And
exactly.
Yeah, that was really good. It was pretty well put together.
Yeah, it's not really a plot, ladies and gentlemen, but it's something you should go out your way and see. Streaming on Hulu. I don't know if you don't have Hulu, can you still like buy the stream
Yeah, I think you can. I don't know how though, because I got Hulu. So, but you can buy it for sure.
Did you see the Wu-Tang trailer came out yesterday?
I didn't see the trailer. I'm just kind of waiting for the show to just start. It's just like what you said about Redman. You're like, man, I already know about them. I don't need to see.
Yeah, that's true because we already know the Wu-Tang story. You was there, so you already know the Wu-Tang story. So, but I still like looking at the show is actually good though. I didn't look at the trailer either.
The show came out much better than I thought it would because I really don't like any rap movies or shows about rappers for some odd reason. They never work. You know, it's never put together well enough. They usually the casting is usually horrible. The actors are usually bad. The story usually sucks.
Name a show that well, you know what show was good that I thought was good that they gave up on it way too quick. What was the name of the show that was on? Was that VH1 or BET? No, it was VH1. The one where Method Man was the dad.
Nah, I haven't seen that. Method Man was the dad. What show was that? What was that?
Oh my goodness. It was a show about rap, like 90s rap. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on IMDb. Method Man was like the boy's father. The dude was like a producer. He found the street dude can like rap real well. And they was like trying to get him to rap, but he wanted to be in the streets. That's actually, I don't know how can you look at the shows now, but it's maybe on the stream, maybe it's on Netflix or something. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. The Breaks, yeah. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh yeah, it's worth going out and I don't know how you gonna watch it, but it's worth. Old. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe on VH1, maybe they'll have it on there, VH1.com. I don't know, but that was a good show, and they gave up on it way too fast.
Well, I mean, like not shows like that, but I mean, like just based like historical, biographical movies. Because honestly, I didn't like the NWA movie.
Why?
I'm trying to think when I only saw it once, and I was like, nah, I don't like it. I didn't like. Well, it's hard to do movies on them too because there was so many people involved.
Right.
It went by too fast. I didn't like the acting.
Well, you gotta give a pass on that one. That went too fast because it's a movie, like you said. They can't cover everything.
They made Eazy-E look like a clown.
That was my only gripe with the movie was they make it seem like when Dr. Dre and him, well, NWA broke up, he was like downtrodden and hurting and for money and all that stuff. But shit, he was still rolling because the money never stopped because he had his own shit and Bone Thugs and Harmony came out.
Yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony. DJ Quick was on he had a couple of groups out on his label even before Bone Thugs and Harmony. I mean, he was making money. They made it seem like he just went broke just right after that happened.
Exactly, like he was all fucked up and can't do anything. And I thought, how about when he looked like he was about to break down when he saw the Chronic billboard?
Yeah, I'm like, he had money,
right?
All right. The Ice Cube casting was cool, but the Bye Felicia joint was corny. I cringed at that one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I forget the nuances and stuff in it, but it was just too many cringy moments in it for me where I was like, nah. I know it's supposed to be a movie, but nah. But I mean, to counter that though, yeah, the Wu-Tang. I don't like Ghostface Killer. I don't like the actor who plays him though. But overall, yeah, it's pretty well put together. Like I'm definitely gonna watch season 2.
Yeah. All right, the second movie I saw was No Sudden Move. Did you see that?
Nah, I ain't seen no. What's that?
It was based in 1950s Detroit with a gangster, Kurt, played by Don Cheadle. I don't remember his last name. So he was looking for money. I'm not going to get because it's kind of like one of them Usual Suspects type movie, like a thriller type of movie. I'm gonna do my best not to give it all away, but so Kurt needed some money because he wanted to leave town, and he got recruited by Brendan Fraser. I don't remember Brendan Fraser's character's name, and they recruited them to try to go and get some documents from a GM worker, And one of the guys that was with him was Benicio del Toro. He was Ron, I think his name was Ron. And so they went and tried to talk to his GM worker into getting some documents. Now the document was now this is the 1950s, and it came out that pollution, like the cars was polluting the air. Now I'm getting them some real stuff now, and they had made Cadillac converters. So the documents were specs for Cadillac converters, so the other car company can get it. And so now they're going back and forth about who has the documents and all this stuff. And I'm gonna stop right there because it's more to it than one. I don't want to give it away in case you want to see it. But the acting was great. The acting was great in the movie. Benicio del Toro, Don Cheadle, Bill Duke is in it. There's a what's he has a small part in it. What's Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yeah.
Matt Damon has a little small part. Matt Damon he's like in like 2 or 3 scenes. He has a real small part in the movie. I'm not going to tell you who he plays because it'll like give it away. Who else is in it? I told you Brendan Fraser was in it. Ray Liotta. I'm probably he's in it. Really good acting in it. It's worth going out and watching it. I'll give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give it I'll say 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5. Real good movie. Even though I don't know these actors' names, but it's still a good movie. Did you watch Married at First Sight yet?
Yeah.
I like Bao. She's cool. But our sister there, boy, she's gonna be a handful. You can already see it.
You know, like every season they always got like what was the villain? I guess I'll call him the villain. They always got a villain or somebody who acts out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm waiting for that part. Why they got to be black though?
You know how they show on the upcoming episodes and how she was acting. Well, I didn't even have to see that because you could already tell when they were talking to each other that she's like going to be a handful. Yep. And Bao, she's so cool. I like her. That's on because she's so cool with the way she talks and all that stuff, and some of the things she say. And our Cuban brother there, he's in trouble too. I forgot about them.
He's the dude who
the fireman with the ball head, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can see that coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she likes to be a kept woman and all this stuff.
He was like too particular what she wanted.
Right.
You know, got the long list.
Right. Say it again.
One of the people who got them long lists of what her ideal guy should be and shouldn't be.
Right.
That's what like.
I just don't want a man with a bald head. And, you know what's funny too? When I guess I don't know what she does for a living, but I assume she wanted a man with a highfalutin tootin' job. When he said that he was a fireman, she gave a real weird look, like that's all you do. Oh, you peeped that too?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's the season right there.
Right. But she's like still talking to him, but she gave him like for a split second, she gave him like this weird look, like that's all you do is a fireman. Yeah, he like being a fireman. So what? Because we all supposed to have these. I don't know what type of job she has, but I'm assuming she probably wanted a man that go to work in his suit and tie.
Men want a provider. All right, they want a provider who's financially stable.
Oh, okay, so you can't provide being a fireman?
In her eyes, no. We saw it. You saw her reaction, man. You know what's going to come in this season.
Exactly. She shot him that look like, oh no. I said, oh shit. Yeah, exactly. I said, oh shit. Like, ma'am, maybe firemen make a good living, and he likes being a fireman and being around people and all that shit.
I mean, come on, that's a pretty noble job to have.
Exactly.
I surely wouldn't do it. There's not too many people who be willing to say, "Yo, I'm a not willing to say, but willing to do it."
Right. Well, sure, I love to go in a burning building and rescue people.
How you gonna look down at somebody?
Yep. Oh no, that's very common. That's very common. And she shot up there. Look, I said, oh shit. But that's the only three. That's the only three couples that I know. We got the lady that always talk about how she lost weight during the quarantine. And that's it, right? It's only them four. We're not missing anything.
Seems like it's supposed to be somebody else, but I don't know who.
Well, I forget. We got the lady that haven't had sex in 2 years, because she always mentioning that also. Her too. So it's five of them.
They got patterns. They got a villain, and then they got somebody who hasn't had sex, or they're celibate for some odd reason or something.
Right, and she keeps mentioning, like, I kissed. This the first time I kissed someone in 2 years. She keeps mentioning it over and over again. The same thing like the lady that lost weight during the quarantine. Yep. She always mentioned how she lost weight during the quarantine. Yeah, I lost 30 pounds during the quarantine. Good for you. But can you keep that weight off? That's the problem.
Heck, he to make money off of it too.
Right. Well, all right, y'all. We went a little long today. It's definitely over an hour. We went like almost an hour and 30 minutes coming up here. So, you can reach the Judgmentals on Facebook and Twitter at PNL Judgmentals, Instagram at _Judgmentals, and I always forget our TikTok. That's also PNL Judgmentals. You can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. Well, I appreciate you filling in for us, Jay.
Rob.
You want to add something before you go? What's all your social information?
You don't need to know that. Just know that I just stood in for Phil. I guess Phil will be back soon. So
yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, y'all. We'll see you.
It's money, man. Fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the track. Don't wonder where my crew is at. They'll be back. Niggas see me walking on the block and look like, who is that? Who is that? People always wanna know where my friends is at. Like we attached. I don't need no crucifix.